Warning. Warning. The following video contains mature content not suitable for children or the easily offended. Please keep this in mind when watching. Thank you and please enjoy.
Death Stranding is an action stealth horror delivery service simulator. It's an unconventional video game developed by Kojima Productions and published by Sony Interactive Entertainment, with 505 Games publishing the PC release next year. You should definitely all know Kojima's work from the Metal Gear Solid series and should be the big warning sign that this game is gonna get weird. After issues arose between Kojima Productions and Konami, aka Konami being pieces of actual garbage, Kojima Productions closed down in July of 2015 only to reopen in December as an independent studio and gained a shiny new partnership with Sony. With Silent Hills getting shot in a field somewhere, Norman Reedus joined in on the newly independent developers projects that would become Death Stranding. And then Kojima realized he had a lot of other famous friends and threw all of them into the game as well. With many trailers, reveals, and a slew of theory videos, the game released to a pretty positive but also slightly polarizing reception, in no small part to how the game strays away from your typical action genre and likes to do things at its own pace. So, what the frick is so captivating about Death Stranding? Our story begins following Sam Porter Bridges on his way to make a delivery. When a little drizzle of rain makes all the birds fall from the sky, Sam speeds off and shows us just how rad he is with his sick jumps. Look at him go, he's so cool.
Oh my god, he just powderized that poor woman with the weird umbrella.
After losing the bike, you grab all the cargo and find shelter from the scary time rain. A random photo falls to the ground and Sam goes to grab it when suddenly he gets a chill and Kojima flexes on all of us with just how good his game looks. Handprints cross his path when suddenly the woman from earlier shows back up. Backing into a wall and holding their breath not to make noise, the creature known as a BT wanders off and the pair are now safe. The woman introduces herself as Fragile. You get it? Fragile? Like fragile cargo. Anyway, after some banter about Timefall, the scary rain from earlier, and eating a witchetty grub, she disappears and you continue on to Central Knot City to make the delivery. After dumping the cargo, you're approached by the corpse disposal team for your next job, which is to, dispose of a corpse. You need to help get the body to an incinerator before it goes necro. What do I mean by necro? Spoilers we'll get to see soon. This is also the first time you encounter BB. Of course, things go south when you get attacked by a group of BTs. The corpse goes necro and you grab BB before... You find yourself on the beach where a lot of weird fever dream stuff happens, and then you bring Sam back from the dead to find a large crater where you once were. Later on, Guillermo del Toro tells you how special you are and asks you to come to the isolation ward where you meet
Spoilers
and Die Hardman. You then need to dispose of another corpse, this time actually making it to the incinerator before being attacked by some BTs again. Using BB to help navigate your way through the swarm, you make it back to the city for some well-deserved rest. The next day, we get introduced to Amelie, the President of the United States of America. We learn that her body is stuck on the beach so she never ages, and that she has also been captured and being kept in Edge Knot City.
But if her body is on the beach, how is she even still here?
Spoiler reasons, that's why. You are then tasked with connecting all the chiral network terminals while making your way to Edge Knot City to rescue Amelie and bring her home. And if you think it's going to be straightforward, I would love to know what rock you've been living under. The story, while by no means simple and terms are thrown around every 2 seconds, is actually pretty easy to understand since they tend to drip feed you answers to a lot of the questions you probably have. If you'd like a much more in-depth look at all the terminology, you should totally go watch Eurothug's videos on the game. She does a much better job than I ever could at explaining all of this, so please check her out, links below. What I will talk about is how the central theme of bonds and working together helps to make an otherwise confusing story grounded in reality. Bringing people together to try and save the world is a statement that hits hard in our current day and age. And if Die Hardman yelling America every 2 sentences doesn't make it obvious enough, this game has a political message that it is definitely not trying to hide. Sam starts off as that super broody guy who doesn't want anything to do with anyone before having a bunch of responsibilities thrust upon him. But the more time you spend with him and the more people you meet, you'd learn just how much depth his character really has. The story and characters are the major driving force for the game, and I think it has the best writing of any game this year. Traversal is the biggest part of this game, and everything you do is to help get from point A to point B as fast and as clumsily as possible. Scaling up and down cliff sides, crossing rivers, and tripping on rocks, all while not damaging the precious cargo. A typical mission will begin with you plotting a route to your destination before hiking your way there, hoping to God there isn't a giant mountain in the way. You gain access to a variety of different structures like ladders and ropes to help make things a little easier. There are also a few things to keep an eye on while traveling. Sam's stamina meter, which depletes when he does anything strenuous, his blood levels, aka health, BB stress levels, which causes him to basically shut down if they get too high, as well as the condition of Sam's boots to make sure his feet stay nice and you don't have to do that thing he does on the trailer. Later on you get use of vehicles, which are very useful, but also shows why I don't have a license. Now when you play on online mode, you get access to other players' structures, vehicles and signs, and vice versa. I highly recommend utilizing these as much as possible because it can be a lifesaver and saves you needing to trek around certain obstacles. You can also aid in building roads, which are extremely helpful in getting across large portions of the map quickly. If it isn't obvious yet, this ties back into the whole helping each other thing. All the different Sams come to help each other out and make things a little easier in this harsh world.
All of this is great and all, but what about the action?
I'm glad you asked. While out traveling, you can come across mules. These lovely fellows will try and steal your cargo and will chase you down so long as there's no timefall. You can sneak up to silently take them out or knock them out if stealth isn't an option. You gain access to other non-lethal weapons to make taking them out a lot easier.
Non-lethal? If these guys are trying to steal my stuff and are a major nuisance, why not just permanently get rid of? I understand now, please continue.
The last thing I'll talk about is BT encounters. You can come across BTs while out and it's absolutely terrifying when it happens. BB will show you where and how close a BT is using the scanner, and you'll need to very slowly and very quietly make your way through without being caught. Make it through and you'll get a thumbs up from BB and continue on normally. But if you get spotted, they'll grab onto you and drag you under. You'll then either need to fight against this giant squid dolphin using grenades and weapons that use Sam's body fluids, yes, there's a story reason behind that, or flee far enough away from it. Now, if you've ever peeked at some of the things people have said about the game, the term walking simulator has been thrown around a bit. While I understand that this game isn't back-to-back action, there's something very satisfying about just traversing the land, and the mechanics are quite involved. The only thing I can say is that there are some points where tutorials and explanations do kinda get dumped on you all at once, but it's only during the beginning, so it's not really a big deal. I love exploring the world, and the BTs make for very intense moments. This game is a graphic snob's paradise, just look how detailed everything is. And 0 frame drops, it's actually insane. Characters rarely ever hit the uncanny valley, and when they do, it's probably done on purpose to make you feel uncomfortable. The environments are photorealistic to great effect, giving what would be a very barren land a lot of flair. When a BT attacks, the area is covered in a thick, inky mess, making the surroundings feel claustrophobic and suffocating. Sam's movements have a lot of weight to them, whether he's on foot or in a vehicle, which gives you great feedback when making tricky climbs or running down hills. The hazy form of the BTs are brilliant at showing you a creature not of this world and scaring the ever-living
censored
out of you when they grab you. The last major point I'll cover is the UI, cause I love it a lot. The main HUD is small enough to stay out of the way while also letting you quickly glance at it to show you all the info you need to know. It all has this nice clean look to it, which contrasts to the much wilder and rougher setting most of the game has. While I like how the menus look, sometimes navigating them can be a chore, especially if you're just trying to do one small thing. While it's nice to be able to auto-optimize your equipment, if you want something in a specific spot, it can take a bit of back and forth. Definitely nothing that ruins the experience though, you get pretty used to it. Overall, a stunning, gorgeous game that runs perfectly. The music is comprised of a lot of songs I can't play because of copyright, but nevertheless I can still talk about it. Most of the game doesn't have music, but just the ambient noise of footsteps beeping and Sam's amazing dialogue. I'm Sam! When the music does come into play, it's always the perfect choice to elevate the feelings of the scene. Long treks will be accompanied by a soft acoustic song that is easygoing, while a BT attack is heart-pumping and dread-inducing. It all comes together to create an atmospheric soundtrack that knows when to play and when to let the scenes carry themselves. In terms of voice acting, do I really need to go into too many details here? Everyone does a fantastic job. Norman Reedus gives a stellar performance as Sam. His reactions to all the crap going on around him makes them very human. Beautiful music, stellar sound design, and brilliant acting. Gold star.
I noticed while playing that while I'm having fun, there's an underlying sense of tedium as well.
I do get what you're saying, I noticed that too.
Does this mean the game is boring? Am I not understanding something?
I don't think the game is boring, it's more that the tedium is a product of the intense amount of realism in the game.
That was a statement and a half. Care to elaborate?
So one thing with playing this game is that you'll be doing a lot of menuing, running back and forth, looking at deliveries, organizing cargo, resting constantly in the private rooms and looking at more menus, all to spend about 1 to 2 hours making a trek from one place to another for one mission. It can seem like there's just a little too much that goes into all this, but that's probably the point. Sam is a porter on a one-man mission to save the president. He makes deliveries, he's doing a very intense and highly dangerous job. Of course, there's going to be a lot of prep work involved. To not go on too long, this game isn't one where you can just run from mission to mission back to back and expect things to go smoothly. Despite his special abilities, Sam is still human and can only do so much. Basically, the game is realistic to a fault, so bear that in mind when diving into this game for the first time. Death Stranding is a very interesting, sometimes absurd game that is so grounded in reality it's almost scary. With a satisfying gameplay loop, great music, and visuals to shake a fully rendered hair particle out, I honestly couldn't recommend it enough. The game is currently available on PS4 with a PC port to come later. Thank you so much for watching, please like the video if you did, subscribe if you want to see more, and I hope you're able to reconnect your bond with someone.